I would like to take this occasion to specially appreciate Father Oswald because he has hit the nail on the bud. Whenever we speak of sustainable development, this is a classic definition as we know, development that is the needs of present without compromising the ability of future generation their needs. This is the classic definition we have all followed, but there is a slight problem with this definition. We are only one among the million species living on this planet Earth. What gives us the special right and power to say that we are the soul, we are the total inheritors of all that is great in earth, and we will decide and we will manage how the thing will go on according to our own perspective. We focus on our generations and coming generations, and we feel this is the anthropocentric or the human-centric paradigm which Father was brilliantly elaborating. But being the youngest of panelists, I'm 29, I'm proud to present the oldest of philosophical thoughts in the world. 5,000 years ago, when Prati Sukta, where they said, Mada Prithvi, Putroham Prithvi, or Mother Earth is our mother, and we are one among the many children. Mother Earth is having a lot of children. It is our duty to take care of be the senior most in the case of intelligence and management capacities. We have to take care of others too. So it is, Earth is, and we, as we know, as far as the present knowledge goes, we are the only place in the universe where we have this phenomenon called life. So is it not our responsibility to move away from what we can feel as an anthropocentric view to a more ecocentric view, from a human-centric view to more of a nature-centric view, from a man-centric view to more of a Mother Earth-centric view. And especially to the children who are sitting there, our fellow beings and the future managers, there is a particular photo, there is a particular picture of an animal in this room. Can you spot where? Not here, apart from this. Very intelligent. There is a particular picture of an animal in this room, which is placed at high, which is placed in this particular room, in this particular auditorium, in a very visible, very priority given preference. Madhya Pradesh logo. And this is unfortunately what happened. We have put them in logos, we have put them in cages, we have placed them with respect, but hardly do we bother about them. Animals, mankind, nature, mountains, plants, rivers, we all make a spiritual ecosystem, if I can use that word. That is the philosophy Vedanta, Indian philosophy is putting forward. We are a part of a spiritual ecosystem. Man is one among many parts. Man is one very important aspect. Along with man, mountains are there, rivers, seas, animals, and a million variety of species. This ecocentric, nature-centric view, I believe, should be the cornerstone of a new paradigm that can think about the future. The earlier definition, the major drawback about that definition is immediately satisfying our need, our coming generations' need. But what about the other species of Earth? What about Earth as a totality? What about the holistic? And the word holistic reminds me of a very interesting thing. Holistic is an English word, but we have a holistic with HOLYSTIC. Indians always believe this is a holistic, HOLY. Holistic here means, of course, comprehensive, plus we consider it holy. Why do we consider it holy? We consider Earth as holy, Mada Prithvi or Prithvi Devi or Mother Earth or Bharat Mata, whichever we call it. And animal kingdom is godly. You can, in the hotel we are staying, we can have the pictures of many demons. They are having many animals surrounding them. Shiva and Vishnu has something like a snake, and some other person is having a tiger. So everything, we can, the huge elephant god is sitting on a small rat. So these are all symbols. India is a land very rich of symbolisms, and these symbolisms give a very message, and we have thought about this for thousands of years. And we believe animal kingdom is godly, trees and forests are worshipped. This is one of the very rare cultures in the world where we really worship trees, we worship forests, and I don't know how many of you have seen the brilliant movie Avatar, which has a philosophical undercurrent of environmental protection, the left paradigm versus the right aggressive paradigm. It clearly elaborates many aspects of the modern imperialist economic policy versus a conservative or conserving kind of mentality policy. And he chose Avatar, and he brilliantly depicts what we call in our language a kava. Kava means a place where there is forest, there are animals, human beings go there, sit there, meditate, sing songs, and at last the beautiful scene in the movie is they are outnumbered and they are outpowered by this imperialist force who is coming, and the mother nature helps them. That symbolically means, that doesn't mean mother nature will come and help us. That symbolically means there are forces of nature which are waiting to help us if we cater to them, if we respect them, if we consider them sacred and dear to us. Seas and rivers are sacred. mountains, soil, land is divine. So that word is important to me, that spiritual ecosystem. That ecosystem which has a spirit of its own, that ecology which has a life of its own. That's the reason why Mahavira, starting from Rishabha, our Chinese philosophy has said everything has a soul. Don't think that human beings only have a soul. Everything has a soul. Buddha says about compassion towards animals, or the ancient Greek philosophers mentioning about animal rights, starting from the ancient of Greek philosophers. So this idea got deep rooted in our psyche. And for me, sustainable development, or from Indian philosophy's perspective, can be having three dimensions. One is the nature-centric, second is the human-oriented, third is the animal, forest, and the environment-oriented. And human-oriented paradigm, we can divide into four. One is the need of the present, marginalized, preserving for their future, our generation's future, caring for disabled and differently abled, inclusion for all. But I believe we have to move away from a paradigm. Earlier, this is the classic left-right paradigm, the right being Adam Smith, the left being the Che Guevara, both on a human-centric paradigm. Says a brilliant thing. I think these two classic figures of economic perspective of the world, Che Guevara says, let me say with the risk of appearing ridiculous, that a true revolutionary is guided by the strong feeling of love. I strongly believe this doesn't come from Marx. This comes from religion. This comes from spirituality, where he is not talking of a war where we are going to kill. He says a revolutionary, he was a rich person, he was a doctor. A revolutionary is guided by, let me say with the risk of appearing ridiculous, you may find it funny, Che Guevara says, that a true revolutionary is guided by a strong feeling of love. And Adam Smith says, however selfish a man may be, there are evidently some principles in this nature which interest him in the fortune of others and make their happiness necessary to him, though he derives nothing out of it except the pleasure of knowing it and seeing it. In the human paradigm, in the human dimension, we need to have a balance. Let us be very clear. Development is a paradigm in the right framework. And distribution or sustainability is a paradigm in the left of center framework. We cannot have a class war. We need to have class cooperation. And unfortunately, if I'm sounding too strong, pardon me for that. For the past 40 years in India, we have been distributing poverty. We should have money to distribute it. We should have wealth to distribute it. Unless we have wealth, how are we going to distribute it? So the old concept of a class war between have-nots and haves won't survive the onslaught of time. The more reasonable, the more plausible, the more genuine concept for the future will be a class cooperation where there might be some antagonic interest between the two classes, as Madam was pointing out. But having said that, when you don't have it, how can you share? Let us look at all the great leaders who are doing great work. They were all from some rich family, and in India you can see even kings were ready to sacrifice all their wealth and do service like Buddha. So I believe this left and have something like a centrist circle. In the left-right paradigm, even in the media houses where I go, some are strongly left, even though they mask themselves as centrist. Some are strongly right, even though they also mask themselves as centrist. There is nothing centrist, but we can have something like a centrist circle where the people's concern are being taken care of, and development as an agenda can also be there. These two words, sustainability and development belongs to the right of center framework, and sustainability belongs to the left of center framework. So we need to have something like a centrist circle where we can take care of both needs. And I have, say, 2 more minutes. I would like to ask you, what is the average income of a beggar in India? You might have seen beggars on the roads. India is, being a beggar was glorified at one point of time as spiritual, but we have a lot of beggars in India. What might be the average income? Of course, he is in front of a church or a temple, he gets more. If it is raining, he will get less. What might be the average income? 50. Somebody is saying 50, somebody is saying 100. If it is so, suppose it is true, according to the 2007 Arjun Sengupta Committee Report, almost 78% of India lives under ₹20 a day. Almost 78%, that means around 85 crore Indians at that point of time lives under ₹20 a day. If a beggar gets 50 rupees per day, we are a nation of super poor. We are a nation which is having not even half of what we have as so-called beggar gets according to your estimates. But we are yet to go to a superpower. Unless we can take care of the super poor, we can never be a superpower. So taking care of the super poor, we have to, but that doesn't mean we have to toe a Naxal line, Maoist line. And if I can point one more philosophical thing before I conclude, for the past 300 years in our education system framework and even in the collective social narrative, we unconsciously followed a person called John Locke. John Locke was of the opinion that we are born like this white paper. And my experiences develops myself. Somebody will write Rahul Easwar, somebody will write Joseph, somebody will write Rebuka, and our experience creates us. This paradigm has long lost its sheen. All the modern scientific discoveries with the growth of genetic engineering, modern brain mapping techniques, men are born equal. A paradigm that has gone out of fashion. That doesn't mean we are born unequal. The philosophy of the past century was that men are born equal. Philosophy of this century is going to be men are born unique. Men are born with their own differences, their own specialities. And we need to have a policy which can cater to the specialities, and what we can do is cater to the speciality, and we can arrange a policy so that man, mountain, animals and everything will get its fair share. And I would like to end by saying, oneness of humanity is a beautiful paradigm we should believe in. Oneness of nature and oneness of cosmos, what Albert Einstein calls a cosmic religious feeling, a spiritual pantheistic feeling, that is one better system. And I would like to come to the conclusion by quoting a brilliant verse from Gita, where it says, Vidya Vinaya Sambanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini, Vidya Vinaya Sambanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini, Shuni Chaiva Shwapakeja Pandida Samadarshana. That means a scholar, a knowledgeable man is a person who doesn't see any difference between the upper caste, the lower caste, different races, even between dog, animal, elephant and man. He sees a kind of God, Brahman, Allah, Tao, Yahweh, whichever name we call it. He sees God in all the creation and all the created that it is there. And this is the Advaita standpoint. We can really start. This is the basic framework, understanding the differences, but having a basic unity. And I believe as human race, I don't know if you have heard of Anunnaki. Anunnaki are the ancient Sumerian mythical gods, which many in Western people say they are the alien gods who presently gave human being this shape. I don't believe in that myth. We are the Anunnaki of this era. We are the most intelligent of species. We take animals, clone them. We do all kind of genetic experiments. We have the power, we have the intelligence to do. So we have a responsibility too. We are the Anunnaki, the modern gods of all other species in the world, because we have great scientific advancement and power. And we have a great responsibility to inspire a paradigm at a base and articulate a policy. Why? The reason being, we are the only people in the world who can organize seminars, who can organize conference. No other animal in the world is being able to produce such wonderful conferences. So we human beings have such great responsibility, and happy that I came here, and Mehul Chauhanji has done a wonderful responsibility. He's fulfilled his responsibility organizing seminar. So let us think deeply. Let us think about the oneness. Let us articulate a policy for us, for animals, for mountains, for rivers, and for this whole cosmos. For in that lies our responsibility. And I would like to conclude by one of the greatest axioms of Indian philosophy. Let the whole world, whole earth, and whole universe and cosmos be happy. Loka samasta sukhano bhavantu. I would propose to Mehulji and others, CSR has been defined in this particular way for the past 20-25 years. Why don't we make an appeal, or why don't we propose a new framework or a new definition where we include mention of nature, animal and forest, so that it can be more comprehensive, and it will be a historic event for this seminar too, because it will be remembered in times to come. I hope that kind of an appeal can be done, and in one way I hope XIDAS, being a great institution, XIDAS can redefine the way CSR has been working in people's mind.